a journey into sound. Here we go again.
Hi, welcome to Mixed Reviews. Every week on this show we cover one album that we find on Spotify and we review it, basically. I'm Liam.
I'm Brendan.
And I'm Ross.
This week we're going to be covering Shatter Me by Lindsey Stirling. It's a pretty new release. It only came out, I think, 2 weeks ago. And it's a bit of a different one. Most of the album is instrumental, barring 2 tracks. That's the title track, Shatter Me, and then another one called We Are Giants. The main, I suppose, gimmick of the album is that Lindsey Stirling is primarily a violinist. So all of the songs have very heavy violin tracks, but they're also like dubstep, techno, just general electronic music, and it makes for a really weird mix of sounds. Yeah, especially when the violins and the beats really kick together. I suppose I want a bit of background information. Lindsey Stirling was a classically trained violinist. If you've ever seen one of her shows as well, she basically dances all over the place. She got famous through YouTube primarily, where she's done a ton of covers of songs. She's done a ton of original stuff. Like I said, this is her second album. The first one was her self-titled album, which she released, I think, 2 years ago. Some of the main covers that she's done was the Game of Thrones theme, which she did with Pete Holland, who's a very prominent a cappella artist. And very recently she did Imagine Dragons Radioactive with another a cappella group called Pentatonics, which was really, really good. But yeah, on to the actual album. What did you guys think?
Well, I really like the album mainly because I think of my music preferences. Up till I was 15 or 16, I listened purely to classical music, so it has stuck with me all the way till now. And I don't like dubstep, but this is sort of like a very nice introduction into the genre because of the mixing with classical music, and it has created that sort of nice melodic feel to the entire album as well.
I felt similar to that. That's what I don't know, it just kind of flows all together at the same time. So
Yeah, I think that's one of the main things with this one and with her original album. Like, everything just seems to mesh together really well. I think I was in two minds as to which track I was going to say was my favourite. Well, first one, which I think has won out, is Shatter Me, which is the obviously the title track of the album. It's the first single, and it's one of the 2 tracks on there that's got vocals on it, and they're done by Lizzie Hale. It's really, really great song. It actually probably one of the better ones that she's done, just period. The other one was Roundtable Rival, which I thought sounded a lot like if you played Assassin's Creed 4, there's obviously, with the time period and the place that it's set, there's a lot of violin music in that, and it sounded quite a lot like that, I thought, which I really liked.
Yeah, actually, if there was any track for me to recommend, it would be the title track as well. Mainly because it really has. Because previously I said there was this nice mash of dubstep and classical music together, and this really brought it out. And it has been one of the better tracks that she has done, not only in this album but every previous one, every music she's done before this. Includes the Star Wars medley and everything along those covers as well.
Interesting enough, I did not pick Shatter Me as what I preferred as the best song on the track. I picked a song called Roundtable Rival, which is one of the purely instrumental tracks, and it's got a dubstep techno feel to it while you're listening to it, and I don't know, just really blends together. It's one of those songs you can listen to and it'll just flow, and you don't even have to pay attention to it. You can just focus on whatever you're doing. It's like when we talked about a few weeks ago with something that you can just lose yourself in. That's what it really felt like.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you said that about most of the tracks on there.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's a common trait in classical music, I guess, where you just have something playing in the background and it's there to help you. I don't know, focus maybe on what you're doing. Be it work, be it studying. It's there to help you out instead of it being. If there are a lot of vocals in there, you might focus a lot more on the vocals rather than the instrumental bits of it.
Yeah. One thing I wasn't a fan of on the album was the first track, Beyond the Veil, sounded very similar to one of the tracks on her original album. I'm just trying to. I think it was Crystallize. I might be thinking of a different song, but it was one of the songs on her original album, and I can't remember which one it was, but it just sounded very similar to that in terms of like the violin tune.
Okay.
Which at first I was like, oh, is this basically just going to be a rehash of the first album? It wasn't, but that track kind of started the album off on a bad tone for me, I guess.
Well, I'm not sure. I listened to both, and maybe it's sort of like an introduction. Like it's there to remind you that this is still the Lindsey Stirling that you heard in the first album, but she might be trying something new instead of going back to what she knows actually. Because this one does have a bit more vocal in terms of it's a bit more. There are more vocals than the original one, which was a lot heavier in terms of instrumentals.
Yeah. Yeah, I suppose. One of the, just a quick bit of trivia, there was an article I saw just after the album came out. It was basically an interview with Lindsey, and I'm not sure if anyone's aware, but she was actually on America's Got Talent. I think it was the 5th season. And Piers Morgan basically said that her entire act was ridiculous crap, something along those lines anyway. And he actually tweeted her after the new album came out and apologised, which if you've ever seen anything to do with Piers Morgan, is a very, very rare thing to happen, that he apologises for anything that he said. So, yeah.
Well, at least he's got the balls to apologize.
Yeah, there is that.
Well, he may be an utter twat, but he has also apologized.
I think that's one of the best descriptions of Piers Morgan, yeah.
He's a utter twat, but
Yeah, pretty
what?
much. Pretty much, yeah. So yeah, what do you guys reckon, out of 10?
I would recommend
9?
it. Yeah, 9.
Yeah, same. So 9 out of 10 for Shatter Me, which I think is the highest score we've given out since we started the show.
Do you believe that's correct?
Okay, I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, follow all the socials. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Google Plus. Like, favorite, subscribe. That's what YouTube people say, right? We're still new at this. Sorry.
What's a YouTube?
We're on
Uh,
YouTube.
It's where you go for cat videos, I think.
What's a cat video?
Oh God, you don't extend the joke that far.
Yeah, no.
Okay, so next week we're going to be reviewing small pools, and then
Subject to change.
oh, okay.
Subject to change. I apologize about that. Didn't say anything. I didn't think you knew that.
Alright, fair enough. So mystery album next week. We'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.